things here. All right, let me review some video action here. Okay, so we didn't lose all of that. We didn't lose the positioning of that, I don't think. I think we're good there. Okay, we just had to relaunch those. We're good, we're good. Okay. Hopefully you all can see me now. Back. All right, sweet. Good stuff. I rewounded a little bit as well. But also in the meantime, go ahead and take off my shoes now that I'm not so exhausted I can't do it anymore. You caught the first 2 seconds of just losing it. Okay, good. Excellent. I rewound back like another 10, 15 seconds as well to anyone who needed to catch up of why I lost it before the big corporation of big dog testicles got me. A sentence that I wish I uttered more often, but yet this one time is perfect. Also, now while running back 15, 20 seconds, I now realize outside of the harbored look on his face, he has a giant sign that just says cigars on it. And you know what? I can respect that too. My on-air sign would be on, but it's not because it's over there and I'm over here. But that's all right. Jeff Twitch cannot stop dog testicle action. Foolish Dante. Gosh, Mercy's me back. Awesome, he lives. Sweet, I'm not dead. Got the first 2 seconds of just losing it. Excellent. Oh my god. I was taking off these shoes were supposed to be very easy, but because I have the worst luck when it comes to things getting tangled, I found by untying my shoe, I have somehow created 3 more knots I have been working at this entire time. I don't know how I managed to do that. I just want to sit cross-legged in my chair, please. Let me get my pansexuality on in forms of sitting in my chair. How does this keep happening? So anyone fresh in this CB interview is in a lot of ways the impetus behind this video. Yeah, the book was so insane that they had to do the actual book report on it. And in whatever degree I saw this, I absolutely do not blame Tom Walker for deciding this has to be the way. Also, what's up, Moore? It's great to see you. So, I think at that point, you just have to say, all right, well, clearly, this person knows what he's all about. And we have to find out more about what is he actually about and dive into his life story that he's now written a book about. Yeah, exactly. You saw those sticky notes in the book. And the front end is there's a gap. And then it goes into, wow, that's a lot of yellow in that book, huh?
He loved to do that. Mm-hmm. This slurping noise that was so...
Yes, you get this again, though. the huaktua.
That is the sound that Greg is missing. Quoting from the book here, he didn't clean himself, only had that look of bewilderment. When he gets Buck's stitches removed, Greg asks about the testicular implants.
Let me look at these shoes real quickly.
Time,
It probably won't be a
Walter
solution for what I
says there
need
might be
because
something
these
in the
are...
idea. He asks
well,
Greg
it didn't pull up
for
anything
one
for some
simple
reason.
thing, a lump of clay. Although in the CNBC article,
I don't know why
it
it's
says
not
a lump of
working.
wax. When Greg brings Doc Holder the lump of clay, Doc Holder's hands expertly fashion it into the shape
Either
of a
way,
dog testicle. Quoting from the book,
these
here,
shoes are
if
my
anyone
actual
knew the
workout
shape
shoes
of a
for
dog
stepping on
testicle, it
arrows.
was
So
Doc Holder. In
I
his
am very
45
peculiar
years
about
of
that
practice,
more than
he
anything
invented
else.
over
But I do want to look at more
250,000
shoes
pets,
in general.
1.5 million testicles. It looks like a jelly bean, I said. That's a canine testicle, he said, giving it a final look and gently setting it into a specially made container for transport. Introducing Nudicles to the world was months away. Keeping it a secret was important. Nudicles was still under development, and the idea could easily be stolen by a big company that had the funds to develop it at warp speed.
Well, try
leading
sending
me
the
to
link again, because like I said, the link didn't
certain
work. I don't know
success
why.
that lay ahead. He develops Nudicles in secret.
If I just
He
click
takes
it
the
straight out.
mold that
Nope, it's just not
Doc
working for me.
Holder
I don't know what
crafts in his
how you linked
hands
it then.
very carefully to a place that turns that into a mold. Over a 50-year career, someone would have to neuter 13 pets every single day to hit 250,000. Remember, thank you for doing the maths there.
Okay, I was gonna sit there the math doesn't seem to be mathing, but I don't know how long it takes to neuter a pet. That seems very fast, but I mean they have pounds of candles and pounds with neutered pets, so maybe there's a fast process. No, it just fucking lied.
That is very helpful. of a dog
Oh, I
testicle.
didn't mean to do that.
It was
Shit.
one, he said. Nudicles was still under development, and the idea could easily be stolen by a big company that had the funds to develop it at warp speed, beating me to the patent rights and certain success that lay ahead. He develops Nudicles in secret. He takes the mold that Doc Holder crafts in his hands very carefully to a place that
Let's see if
turns
this
that
works.
into a mold. Over a 50-year career, someone would have to neuter 13 pets every single day to hit 250,000. Bogenbroom, thank you for doing the maths there.
Oh.
That is very helpful. It is funded by Greg Miller and people he
Oh.
knows around Independence, Missouri, including the insanely
Oh, that's
well-named
neat.
brother-sister duo of Jill and Joe
Thank you,
Smith.
Kepka. Actually, this
It is
does
an
entice me.
advertising hit. Greg is doing radio interviews from 5 a.m. on the day of December 20th, 1995. As he drives to the vet, he's switching between the two radio channels that are hyping up the procedure with custom-made jingles. A 7-month-old Rottweiler named Max gets the first ever commercial Nudicles implant, and reporters crowd around as Dr. Holder explains every step of the procedure, while Greg takes reporters' calls from the clinic's phone at the reception. The AP picks up the story. It's distributed worldwide. And then on Christmas Eve,
He went viral in
he
'95.
turns on the radio and hears his own voice.
Like the last
being
thing you could
used
probably
as
go,
a promo
you could basically go
of the Randy
viral
Miller
without the
Morning
internet.
Show promoting Nudicles. I quote from the book here. I was amazed and thrilled. My dream of fame and fortune was almost there. I was getting famous, and it was the most incredible feeling I'd ever had. Gavin and Debbie do all of Greg's Christmas shopping because he is too busy to do it himself with the product launch. At this point, Greg hits us with the facts. Creating new products.
So he
is his
took off the
calling.
wig, and I'm like, who the hell is
January
that?
finds Greg basking in the wave of public attention that has come to the Nudicles. Unfortunately, the sales have not matched the amount of attention that he's got. He uses advertising tactics to pick up the disappointing Nudicle sales. Sales in January total $109. Not
Wow.
what you want when you've sunk your life savings and the savings of several of the people who live in your hometown who you've known your whole life into this. He has a solution, though, for the PR.
Give us a
Gets
shake.
it
Yeah,
on
who
the
is that
radio and
guy?
gives away a
Every time the
nutrient-rich
shades go,
Nudicles
yeah, who was
in
that
every
guy
single state.
anyway?
We are
He's
entering the
great.
period that, according to Greg, was termed Nuticle Mania by the
Yeah.
press. That period is happening in 1996. In 1996, Greg has an interview with Mancow Mueller.
Who the
Greg,
fuck?
Exactly why did you come out with these dog balls? He asked in a low tone. We prefer to call them Nudicles, I replied. Yeah, he replied.
He just
"But
hated doing it.
why?"
I was wondering, because I'm like, that's just like as hell.
I want other pet owners to avoid the trauma Buck and I faced when I had to have him neutered. But why? He asked. It really all boils down to people's love of their pets. They are like a member of the family.
All these old shock jocks.
Hoping
Oh,
to
okay.
appeal
I
to
mean, he
his
looks like he
moral
sucks
fiber,
shit, but
which
I didn't want to
immediately from what little
judge.
I know of Mancow, you're fucked. The guy has a Wikipedia controversy section a mile long.
Ah.
So you love your dog? He asked. Well, yes, I said. Millions of pet owners do. Do you have sex with your dog, Greg? He asked. Do you? Do you? He repeated. It sounds to me like you need a brain implant, I snapped. Mancow appeared to be angered deeply.
Name is fucking
Yeah, that would have
Mancow.
absolutely crushed him.
Yeah.
I heard someone in the background say, keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. So you love your dog? At that point, I didn't care what he thought or what his listeners thought, as I was insulted and tired. Hey, I don't have to put up with this crap, and I slammed down the phone as hard as I could. The producers called 4 times, attempting to get me back on, but I refused. The interview was aired later that year as one of the top 10 people he angered on the air. An odd achievement at best. Rush Limbaugh is a supporter of Nudicles. He features Nudicles on his show. He approaches the Chinese government about putting Nudicles in a recently neutered giant panda called Ming. The Chinese government turns him down. Rush Limbaugh holds up Nudicles on the TV on his show and says, only in America. Now at this point, we pivot from the world of Nudicles to the world
Yeah, this
of
guy's looking
pets.
suck shit as
Gavin
well.
and
The
Debbie-
Mancow
Gavin,
guy. But also his
who
name is
is
fucking
the,
Mancow. He looks
in
like
his
that.
words,
So I would be pissed off too at the
mentor.
world if
Gavin and
that was the
Debbie
card
are
I was
making
dealt.
over
This is the role you have to play.
$1,000
Dance,
assembling
Dance,
sweet
Dance.
for Disney orders. But in January 1996,
Yeah,
Gavin
fucking
starts
pieces
picking
of
fights
shit,
with
though.
Greg. He starts being
I'm so
aggressive
smart. I
towards
made you
Greg.
mad because
That's
I was a
avoid
jackass
putting
and no one wants to
sweets
talk
into
to me.
treats. They do
I
this
think I should be proud of
for
myself.
Every single order. Greg, at this point, lists the things he's given Gavin and Debbie. I had given Gavin and Debbie $5,000 a year earlier for for their wedding present. 2 months rent in Kansas City, a bookcase, a phone, a table and chairs, divan, a washer and dryer,
Oh, no.
and hundreds of dollars.
We're breaking down the amounts.
One day, Gavin calls to say he's coming over, and when he turns up with a six-pack and his stepson, he comes over, he wipes his muddy boots on Greg's carpet runner. Gosh, Gavin, why didn't you take your shoes off before coming inside? Look at the mess. You ruined the carpet, Greg says. Well, if you don't want me over here, just say so and I'll go. Greg snaps back. Well, if you're going to act like this, that may not be a bad idea. Gavin storms out of the room at this. It seems like maybe there's some stuff that's not being said. Potentially,
I'd rather not.
Greg isn't picking up on.
I'd rather not think
He doesn't strike me as the most emotionally intelligent man alive. Gavin leaves, furious, and he drives home. There he enters his house. He walks into the Sweet Tube
That's
workshop
me,
that
baby.
he,
I'm
Debbie,
man
and Nate
cow.
work out, assembling 3-foot-long treats.
Can't even keep a
And he
straight
throws
face at the joking part of
$9,000
this.
worth of assembled and unassembled Sweet Tubes into the streets and then runs them over with his car.
Wow.
According to Greg, neighborhood children see the street overflowing with candy and charge in, eating it straight out of the gutters. In the wake of this, Sweet Tube orders inexplicably dry up. Months later, Greg finds out that his mother overheard Debbie bragging that she called Disney and ruined Sweet Tube's 14-year business with them. It was never discovered what Debbie had told Disney, but I was out of the Sweet Tube business and now had no income. I do not believe this on multiple levels.
Yeah.
Gavin and Debbie, after this, spend weeks making harassing calls to Greg. Gavin says he will kill Greg's dog and that he's going to get Greg. Gavin starts coming to Greg's house at night and leaving beer cans where he knows they're going to be found, so Greg knows he's being watched. And one night, Gavin comes over and leaves a perfectly made hangman's noose draped across Greg's front gate. At this point, the book immediately pivots as Greg is to be flown to New York to do the daytime talk show, The Pat Bullard Show. Pat Bullard was a comedian and TV host. After spending 2 pages on the weeks of harassment and death threats from his little brother and his sister-in-law, Greg spends full 5 pages
Wow.
in his 8 minutes on The Pat Bullard Show. He writes about getting into the
Anyways,
hotel, how nice it is
that
there. He
doesn't
writes
matter
about
all
the
that much.
filet
Let's get back to the
mignon that he
important
makes that
stuff.
day. He writes
The
out every
Greg.
single line. He writes out the physical bit where he produces nudicles from his pocket on the show. When Pat Bullard says he doesn't want to touch them, he writes out that he leans forward and rubs them on his arm. He writes it in such detail that it makes me feel like he has to have recorded this and now be watching it back as he
Yeah,
writes
a
this section.
singular
Greg
Karen
ends his trip to New York with
is
a
not going to make that sort of
heartbreakingly
change.
honest
As much
paragraph.
as
I left
any
Manhattan that Sunday
loud
afternoon
person
with a
wants to
sense of
believe that they
knowing
can.
great things had just
It
happened.
won't
I
happen.
loved being center stage, the excitement of show business, and above all, being seen by and influencing millions of people.
Also,
That's
kids
the thing he
eating
loved
candy
about
from the
all. I was
gutters.
addicted to the
Jesus
limelight and
Christ.
prayed it would never end because it made me feel euphoric. And I loved it. This is a moment that is bookended by family tragedy on either side because he immediately after receiving the noose from his little brother
Yeah.
goes on this show, then comes back to find out that his mother has late-stage pancreatic cancer. They really just glide over what happens here, and I don't want to necessarily detail it, but Gavin and Debbie disappear. Neither talk to his parents after finding
Wow.
out she has
They
cancer.
just- they
It's
fucking
unclear how they
just
found
disappear?
out what's going on here. DeWitt doesn't do anything after finding out. Apparently, nobody contacts anyone. There's absolutely radio silence, and Greg and his parents are alone, according to Greg. This is the jarring shift in tone, by the way. At 1:18 one morning, Debbie calls Greg's
Like, you know what this reminds me of? People who were here might remember a small, quote-unquote, documentary known as Nintendo Quest, where there was someone who was going across the U.S., and by U.S., I mean like a few places in the East U.S., trying to collect the entirety of the Nintendo, the NES video game, like make an entire complete collection of the NES video games. And there's just like this part in here where, you know, like it's like this almost offhanded comment that he's making, like, you know, he's pretty serious about this thing and sort of thing and whatnot, and he like makes like an offhanded comment about like his like dad or something like that, and then just this huge tone shift about like his history, about like his abusive dad and like how his mom had to deal with everything like that all of a sudden, and this goes on for like, you know, a while, and then it goes like it like has this jump cut to like the next chapter. Then I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it is this insanely bad jump cut of just like, wow, you really just slammed that in there anywhere it could fit, and you did not care what else this emotional pull had to be. It feels like there's a lot of this going on in the book right now. Of now I need you to be on my side here. but I'm treating everyone else like, some level of jerkitude. Kids don't care. Candy is candy. That's true. Kids are not diving towards the gutter for any amount of candy whatsoever. If, they took that minute candy and you look outside, you see like, wow, that person ran over all that candy with their car. I don't think I've ever seen a kid be so desperate to be like, I'm going to go into the gutters of this road and really pick up the candy. I don't know. Maybe their gutters are really clean. I don't know. Maybe they have hyper clean gutters. I wasn't there in Missouri. I don't live there. Just before the rise of the internet, social media. So yeah, he couldn't even get signal boosted at all. Yeah, she couldn't get signal boosted at all. So yeah, it would be very hard for, like, at this point, companies don't understand what controversy is until the internet comes out and truly teaches a lot of them what controversy actually can look like. Like, all their, like, greatest fears, like, well, that doesn't happen all that often, if ever. And then they realize, oh, people have a lot more access to make this happen, and people will make this happen as well. Through truths and lies. Realistically, some people fucking lie to get the story really gunned up, and we end up with unfortunate situations like the Bayonetta voice actress, for example, where that's its own huge mess of stuff of both sides really not acting in good favor whatsoever, and we're all caught in the middle to make a decision if you so decide to. You also don't have to make a decision, but the power of the internet today makes you feel like you have to make a decision on stuff and make a stance on stuff, which sucks in its own right too. Quest came a little bit from a heart somewhere. Yeah, it felt like a way to deal with grief, but the way they edited it in, it feels like a jarring shift in tone in terms of, this is going really great. All of a sudden this humor over here. And it's just like, okay, holy shit. I'm not saying it's not from the heart. I'm just saying the jarring shift in tone was real wild. They should watch the original Stephen King insulated set far away from any gutter. They say that they always want to act like kids aren't smart. You show them it once, they ain't going near the gutter ever again for the rest of their lives. They say kids can't learn. Sometimes we learn too good as kids.
He, assuming it's just part of the harassment, lets it go to voicemail, and she screams at him to pick up. When he picks up, she says his mom is in the hospital and she has minutes to live. He says she sounds like she's out of breath and holding back laughter at the same time. When he gets there, he says nothing to Gavin and Debbie as he enters the room that holds their dying mother. As he holds her hand, Gavin starts talking shit to Greg. You didn't hurt me. You didn't hurt me one bit. His dad is around the corner, talking and laughing with nurses as if nothing's wrong, as Greg feels his mother's hand loosen in his, and she clinically dies. Gavin and Debbie immediately leave. Greg and his dad stay for a while, as they're asked what they want to do with the now clinically dead, but still technically alive, Maria Miller. At 3:35 a.m., his dad demands they leave, with his mother's heart still beating uselessly in her chest. He repeats this over and over until Greg finally snaps at his dad and says, "Okay, Dad, let's get the fuck out of here." That is the end of
chapter 1. I thought we were like halfway.
Can you fucking believe this?
We're halfway at this point.
Of this book begins with one of the most insane.
What else do you have to say?
Especially
what else do you have to say?
The inventor of dog
that could have been its own book in itself.
A person can run out of tears. I wept, but there were no tears.
Jesus. Okay.
At 7 a.m., the day that his mother died, Gavin and Debbie have gone
I'm ready.
over to
I'm
Greg's
good. I'm
parents'
okay.
house and taken all of his mum's
Yeah,
medication from the
see.
medicine cabinet. Later that same day, Greg gets a call telling him Gavin and Debbie have sold the drugs to friends and neighbors. All of her fucking cancer medication pain pills are gone. Mom's funeral is completely fucking bizarre. Greg emphasizes that Gavin and Debbie are there with their children looking poor in oversized
Brother, what?
clothes. As he sobs at the coffin, Greg overhears Debbie telling Gavin that Greg is being theatrical. Father Healy, who is the family's priest, had seen his mother through the years, but didn't know her, and referenced her life from notes that Greg had provided. He rushed what should have been a 45-minute service to 22 minutes. When I say that a hunchback deacon enters, screams the Hail Mary without introducing himself, and then scurries away, it is literally, this guy is not Father Healy. He is apparently sent by Father Healy, and kind of like, genuinely described in the book as looking like Igor. He scurries in, apparently screams the Hail Mary at the top of his fucking lungs, and then just beelines out, not looking to the left or right. Greg's dad starts to unravel.
Wow.
Greg pledges to him that he will never put him in a nursing home. For the next 7 weeks, he visits Greg daily. DeWitt moves to have dad put in a home. He wants to have their dad declared legally incompetent. Dad has said to Greg that he wants DeWitt to sell his house in exchange for a room with DeWitt in Florida. Greg believes that this means that DeWitt is scheming. Greg unloads on DeWitt. I quote from the book here. I reminded DeWitt of his past history, how he didn't manage to get his life in order until age 40, the decades of grief he created with his alcoholism and drug-related behavior, the abortion in the 80s, and the illegitimate child he produced and abandoned in the 60s, how he had ignored mom and dad for the previous decade, didn't even call mom during her illness, and wouldn't drive the 90 miles to be with her in her hour of death. We hard cut to Greg asking Doc Holder to save him a spare dog testicle next time he neuters a dog. When Doc Holder, the vet, calls him up and says, I got that dog testicle
You know what?
he takes
History's
the
a
testicle to
motherfucker.
laboratory where they test the
The
testicle
literal order of
sensitivity and
actions
pressure,
can be a
and they use
motherfucker.
that information to invent the first ever silicone Neuticle. It's a Neuticle that addresses some of the complaints that people have had about the first run of Neuticles, which are, at the very least, similar to these. They are made out of a hard plastic. Apparently, the complaint was that pet owners could hear their dogs clacking as they walk.
Yo, what's up, 12 Gamers? How you doing? Yeah, Step Mania exercise is done. You missed the end of it. And now we're chilling and watching The Story of Neuticles, a deep dive book report on Greg, whose name I cannot, last name I can't remember, who created fake dog testicles and has found some level of success. And now he has written a book about this. And we are going through the absurd pacing of said book, where the first chapter in itself could probably be its own full-featured film with all the dramatics, turns and twists, and family drama that came from it. We're in chapter 2. This book's going buck fucking wild. Doc got the clack. Colonel, I can't sneak in. The sound of my testicles keep alerting the guards. I guess you can't call him Snake. I guess you gotta just call him Dog at that point here. So basically just normal shit. How you doing? It's a dude from the Fast GTA 4 traffic mod videos. I have no idea who that is or who this is. I'm just gonna know him as the dog testicle guy. How you doing, Betty? It's good to see ya. That's on its own. No changes.
What comes
It's perfect.
next is the Neuticle Natural, a silicone implant that perfectly mimics the wonderful, beautiful form of a dog's testicle, like we all know and love. A year passes, and Leo's dementia gets worse. Leo, of course, being Greg's dad. He's living in filth at this point. He is giving his medication to his dog, which leads
Australian
to the
community,
dog falling
usually.
into a
Oh, okay,
coma
gotcha,
on
gotcha.
more than one occasion. Greg's dad is driving
Super
for
dog
hours and hours.
testicles.
He loves driving.
Don't worry, it probably gets
unfortunately,
worse.
He has severe Alzheimer's. He drives up to 400 miles a day, and he brags about going 100 miles per hour at times as he urinates freely in the truck. The truck is also constantly getting new dings and scratches on it, and at one point he rear-ends a car and then drives away. His dad also starts wandering around the neighborhood asking for food. He's, in no uncertain terms, losing his mind.
Yeah.
Greg finds him in his house at midnight, standing in a room alone with all the lights on, talking to his dead wife. Greg goes outside to have a cigarette because he is understandably stressed out. When he goes to
needs
get
help.
back inside and tell his dad that he needs to be put in a home, or at least move in with Greg, his dad has locked all the doors and gone to bed. We hard cut from this. Greg is invited back on the Pat Bullard show.
Oh, God.
Greg Miller, inventor of Neuticles, returns to the place where he got his first.
Also,
taste
the
of
biggest
TV
thing about
work.
this book so far that we got in this book review is that I think the best way to put it is that history is a motherfucker. And if you really want to go in like chronological order, it sounds like the fact that putting everything in chronological order makes everything seem extraordinarily batshit insane. Which, it's a way of telling a story. You want to be fully chronological and use it as a legitimate look into the past. It just sucks that you have to go to, wow, my father is suffering heavily from dementia after losing his wife of so many years and is really going through with it. And now I'm going back on the Pat Bullard show to talk about fake dog testicles. And there's no good way to smooth that over. I and making the assumption that, at least within the book, he says something along the lines of like, while my dad is in this position, I talked to one of his neighbors to keep an eye on him. I do need to go ahead and take this show over at Pat Bullard. I keep my emotions down. I take a night for myself and do some meditation before I fly off to the Pat Bullard show or something like that. I figure there's maybe some sort of transfer in the book. Doesn't make it sound like it is in there, but I haven't read the book. I can't make these assumptions.
The reason he's back on the Pat Bullard show is the show has been canceled during its first short season, and Greg has been invited onto the final episode alongside John Rivers and TV host and American Vice President
it only
Mondale's
gets
daughter,
even better.
Eleanor Mondale, who he misremembers as non-existent author Muriel
MC's goes
Mondale.
99% fast
She
as
asks
usual.
him for
Kind of
an
stuff. I'm going, oh, holy shit.
for her husband. He says, I was the last guest.
Okay, that's
on the
amazing,
last
Petty.
Pat Bullard show. We have here no Greg talking, but you can see there in the background Greg Miller sat on the set of the final Pat Bullard show. He made that much of an impression be brought back. He did, and he gifted Pat Bullard a golden.
Is that because I
musical
don't think that
award.
happened? It
He
probably
gave him a
didn't.
necklace of nudicles,
But
which
also,
did
we're
Greg tell
watching
him
a
he wanted to
cut
close out the
down.
show?
In all fairness, I'm trying to be at least fair here on the aspect of we're watching a stream of consciousness on his own stream and a cut down version of that. So he might have cut out those details. He might have like half mentioned it, and it was like amidst everything else and stuff like that. Maybe someone else brought it up, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that happened," and didn't think to put it in the final video. So I'm not gonna make heavy assumptions, but I'm going to make the likely assumption of no, it probably didn't happen. You're absolutely right, Grover.
Unfortunately, it looks like he took them off for the credits, as he is not wearing them here, as you can tell. I was the last guest on the last Pat Bullard show. This same year, the Nudicle wins the Ig Nobel Prize for Medicine. Congratulations to the Nudicle. He returns home to find out that Gavin and Debbie have started building a room in his dad's basement. They are trying to move into his home as live-in carers and have him sign over control of his bank accounts and his house. Also missing are a color TV, a 35mm camera, tools, guns, $10,000 from his dad's bank account, and this is just a little bit of color in here. Gavin and Debbie are being evicted from their house. The house also has only broken windows because Gavin broke all the windows in fits of rage. Just as a quick callback,
Cool.
this is the boy, the 25-year-old man, now 26, who Greg was the undeclared mentor of. The Department of Aging is called on Greg as his father wanders around the neighborhood asking neighbors for food. Ms. Jackson, described in the book as a heavy-set African-American woman, because Greg has some stuff going on.
Oh boy.
Anytime someone could potentially be described as heavy or something adjacent to it, it's kind of a J.K. Rowling feel to it. Ms. Jackson tells Greg that his father needs to be in a home. She is shocked that he has been driving. Greg's dad moves in with him. Toots, his aunt, helps him move and helps block Gavin and Debbie from getting access to the bank account and to the house. Aunt Toots is right, yeah. Toots is 70 years old, but apparently is as sharp as if she was in her 30s. Chapter 3.
We have been through a lot in the first two
Finds out
chapters.
that the dad has been stolen from the dad's house. A drunk Gavin drives over to Greg's house with a friend and shoots the outside of the house with a 9mm rifle, screaming, "Get out here, you goddamn son of a bitch." He then drives away, circles around and comes back. But in between that, Greg has called the cops. The cops catch him as he returns to the scene of the crime. Days after Gavin gets arrested, Gavin and Debbie return the favor by calling the cops on Greg, saying that he's kidnapped his dad. The cops turn up and immediately hold Greg at gunpoint until he explains what's going on. In both cases here, in Gavin's arrest, in this false kidnapping, the cops recognize Greg as, that's Greg Miller, the Nuticles guy. We move on to the next source of publicity. From Gavin, we move on to Jim Webb.
No, he's cool. He's cool. He's the guy that makes the fake dog testicles. Don't worry about it. Well, that gunplay, like, hey, don't. They got the trunk scene from Dragon Ball Super. Wait, hold your fire. That man is not black. Also, he invented dog testicles. I think we gotta let him go. Oh, thanks, Trunks. Appreciate it. Oh, balls. I know that guy. God. Cops are waiting to shoot damn near any one person of color, but Dog balls guy? Oh, he's good. He's fine. I seen him on the Pat Bullitt show that one time.
Get a Nuticle to replace his big fucking nut that he lost. Greg doesn't believe initially that Jim wants the Nuticle or that he wants the specific Nuticle that he asked for, because the Nuticles are not currently manufactured in Jim Webb's size. Jim Webb sends a photo of his massive nuts measuring 3¼ inches long to Greg. Unfortunately, he can't get the implant because it's illegal in the US, and while Jim is offered the opportunity to travel to Germany or get a implant that is filled with saline, which is the prosthetic that is used in a human testicle prosthetic, he refuses because he doesn't want just any fake testicle. And I quote, "I wanted a Nuticle." Neighbors call the DOA again after Greg's dad keeps leaving the house, going to door to door, begging for food. In Greg's words, the portly African-American lady arrives. Greg says she reminds him of a human dog catcher. She sought out the elderly, with her only solution being to institutionalize them. She appeared angry and took pleasure in her, quote, work. This is, to be clear, a woman who is making sure that the severely Alzheimer's-addled man does not have keys to drive his truck around.
Yeah.
The man who is
It's just like completely treating him like,
his truck.
just treating her like absolute, well, I mean, othering once again. Going back to the whole person of color thing. But before then, we got the golfers rolling in here. Yo, what's up, Cass? How you doing? What's going on, friend? Thank you for bringing community over with mine. You've come at a very interesting time of chillaxing and watching videos, learning about the story of Nuticles and the man who created them and his backstory, which seems to be just anything short of made up of like 15% overblown stories and 85% absolutely batshit shit that's actually going on. Holy shit, what the fuck's going on here? What are you up to today, Cass? How you doing? What's up, Metabot? Good to see you as well. For those who don't know, my name's Ryudo, variety streamer of twitch.tv.com. Got done stepping on arrows a little bit earlier today. Got a little bit of exercise in, and now I'm just, chilling, cooling off from the workout and doing some chilling watches. It has been quite a while since I've done one of these, so it feels nice to actually catch up on one of these. Like Tom Walker, but I haven't seen this video. Let me go ahead and shoot over the links, because I didn't plan on doing this today. I don't have the exclamation point link set up. But if you want to watch the remainder of it later, and I recommend you watch the remainder of it. I know you're 30 minutes in, and you're like, well, I'll get the gist of the video. You need to at least watch, like, chapter 1, like, from the, 10-minute marker or so. You need to at least watch that, because that really sets up the entire energy of the video. Very urgent for my game. Oh, since make a lot of small improvements and bug fixes. Oh shit, is it almost time? It's almost time for cool Teslas Defined put together. You're gonna have a full game out here in so many months. I'm rubbing my hands vigorously because I'm excited for more Cass gaming. You know I'm always excited for your games, obviously. I mean, that's no real big surprise. And then I will purchase the game. I'll play it on stream. I'll be like, this game is really cool. Obviously, we've been doing this this is the third time we've done this now. And hopefully some other people get inspired to also purchase the game. Mostly looking at Jinpu, honestly. Mid-2025, I'll be here. I'll be waiting. Or I'll be dead. I mean, it's a 50-50. You play fighting games, it's a 50-50. Either I live or I die. We'll see what happens. But anyone who hasn't checked it out, Cass does make actually legitimately good games. From Ducky's Delivery Service to Chessplosion, both of them hella good. And now we have a new game based off that similar energy and game engine, obviously, as well. And you should definitely check them out. They are good games. Yeah, I'll keep checking out streams and looking forward to game. Me too. I'm so excited. I'm actually legitimately excited. This fucking rules. All right, that said, welcome to the world of dog testicles and the insane family history, apparently, of one Greg last name who keeps evading me every time.
Is in truck around. The man who has been hitting things with his truck is in. She is in the wrong somehow. She said Dad was absolutely not to drive and was to remain on my property at all times. Honestly, shockingly lenient. However, according to law, Dad had every right to drive or do whatever he pleased, as no court had declared him incompetent. Legally, I could not force him to do anything I wanted. Now, at this point, Leo doesn't know.
Sorry, I just thought of a story. Just that situation got me heated. I'm like, why is this story making me so mad? And I just thought about it right now. So there is a story of someone who I know whose grandparents whose grandfather, I should say, more specifically, was not supposed to be driving because of very similar Alzheimer-based reasons, and was very dangerous to drive around. And so they told me the story of their grandfather who was driving along the highway or, one of the higher speed roads one night and ended up like a cop had pulled over for a bit to do a traffic stop and ended up clipping the cop and drove on like nothing happened. And it's just like, for whatever reason, and the reason's probably being because people of color and not people of color situation, they was like, yeah, whatever. It happens. Yeah, you hit a cop on the way with irresponsible driving and you didn't realize you did it and you don't remember that you did it. All right, cool. Here's your license. Have fun. Keep driving. You deserve this for some reason. Legally, yeah, you have not been declared in any way, shape, or form that you are unfit to drive. Apparently, it doesn't fucking matter somehow. And I don't know based on what. But we also know kind of a little bit based on what. So it's just like, holy shit. Some people can just get away with shit at all times. And just hearing that story, I think that's kind of what made me really heated at that section. Just like, they have clearly shown that they're irresponsible. And just because it's a legal-based thing doesn't make it good, right, or anything else. Fucking remove them from the situation so more people don't get hurt. Anyways, back to the story here.
Who the president is or what day of the week it is. He is pissing constantly in his truck, and he is
Actually, maybe he's killing people. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, they didn't die, so clearly the system's working.
I was going to have
Mean that
Dad
you
declared
can't watch it
legally
level
insane.
2 and
Not
lower.
because I wanted to, but because Dad had forced me to do it with his stubborn behavior. They drive into town. Greg takes him to the courthouse. The judge asks him multiple times, what day of the week is it, and who's the president? He gives a different answer every time. No one answer of them is right. His dad moves in with Greg as Greg is declared the caregiver to his dad. The dad needs to be monitored 24/7. Greg is to be a caregiver while balancing his life around his demanding business of manufacturing fake dog nuts.
Exercises for verification.
Of a completely baffling period in his life.
For
Now,
13
at this
years.
point, another interesting thing happens.
This was put up
Greg
8 months
lands
ago.
an
It might be up to
interview
us.
on the Howard
We might have to
Stern
do it.
show. This interview happens on the
Oh, good.
31st of May, 2001.
Oh, good.
The interview includes
Excellent.
just
Wonderful.
basically Howard Stern asking him why he invented these. It's very similar to the Mancow interview in that Stern
Yes.
also asks him, did you fuck the dog? Do you fuck the
Thank
dog?
you,
Would
Howard
like to
Stern.
fuck the dog?
Stern.
Have you ever thought of fucking the dog?
Yeah,
I'm now
for the
going to play
Australian
a little
streamer.
bit of it.
Yeah.
The guy's name is Greg Miller, and Greg is the creator of something called Nudicles. Greg decided a couple years ago that when he saw a dog that was neutered, that he would make testicle implants for dogs so that they would have
Yeah.
testicles.
Of course, it's the OG Shock Jock.
Is that right?
It was 7 years ago.
Right.
and
Yeah,
it
how
was
dare
my
you,
own dog,
Howard.
my
Get your
beloved
shit right.
bloodhound named
Master
Bob.
of
He's
not having to
in
get shit right.
press mode here. Now, I'm just going to skip forward to the point that I want to play on stream. There we go.
Seriously, have you ever? I'm swear I'm not trying to be funny. Have
Also
you ever
fair.
had sex with your dog?
No, never.
Do you ever look at your dog longingly or something?
Well,
Absolutely fucking goated delivery. Fucking sick. Fucking rules.
I won't lie. That was the charismatic part just shown right there. It's kind of fucked up.
Something listenable, you know? You ever look at your dog longingly? This
Yeah, just
interview
like,
happens.
I'm being
Spoiler
very
alert,
serious
fuck
about
the
this.
dog,
Did you ever
passes
fuck your
away.
dog? No. Have you ever looked at your dog
Howard and
longingly?
Robin do
Just
ask him if he
smoothed over.
shakes
Knew
urn,
the
does he
answer.
hear
Had the next
dirty
part of the
fake
set
dog
play
nuts
going.
clacking around in there. Pretty good.
Make a phone call. Yeah, please make a phone call if you need
Is
to.
with longtime
Yeah,
Nudie
he-
helper Randy Miller.
You know
a
what?
radio host.
You know what I just thought of, actually? Howard Stern is like the original, like, Mr. Beast ninja style YouTuber. People looked at it and said, I can do that. I can be the crazy, wacky person on air. And I'm gonna be on the radio too. I'll make my own podcast, radio shows, whatnot. I can be that guy. He's the original Mr. Beast YouTuber type guy. That people just looked at it and said, I could do that. Of course I can talk on a radio without, getting the point of like why this actually works. I won't lie. Yeah, I mean, credit given where credit's due. He's good at his job.
From Missouri. When it comes out that Bill Clinton is
Just until they suddenly did, it's
his
true.
dog
Yeah.
Buddy,
And
Randy,
YouTube will probably be the
and,
same way too in
Greg
so many
campaigned
years.
for Buddy to be nuticled. They
Oh, then I
send
can't wait to
Nuticles
you come
and
back, Cass.
Grab bag of merch to the White House. Unfortunately, let me just read this to you. For one thing, he receives a personally signed thank you card from President Clinton. There was a media frenzy around the clock with interviews from radio stations and newspapers all over the country and world. A publicity event could not get any bigger or better than this. They wait 8 days to find out if Buddy would get nudicled. On the 8th day of wait, the Monica Lewinsky story broke, and all eyes turned to that event, which dominated the news for months to come. It was never known if, in fact, Buddy was neutered with nudicles. And if not, and this is a baffling sentence, keep this in your head, and if not, whether the nature of the product and the matter in which President Clinton had become involved in with the affair had any influence due to the publicity it would create. That is a very peep this out sentence. The matter in which President Clinton had become involved in with the affair. Interesting stuff. Now,
Okay.
just to give you
Wow.
a quick reference, we do know about...
Yeah,
the
especially
Clinton
Mr. Beast
dog.
keeps wrapped up
This
in
is
scandal after
from
scandal after
The Dog Who
scandal.
Doesn't Have
I
Everything
feel like I
by
open up my
Douglas
web browser
Martin
every
for the
day
New
and there's
York
another
Times, reprinted here at
new
National
story
Post
about
Photo.
Mr. Beast being
He
in a scandal
contacted
again.
Barry Toiv, a White House spokesman, and immediately got an answer back. There are no nudicles in Buddy the dog.
Ah.
That is the end of chapter 3.
Damn. He's at his
enter
bottom.
Chapter 4. Chapter 4 starts us in 1998. We jumped forward to 2001 there. It's a cold December in Missouri. Greg finds his dad pouring water into a truck instead of oil. He doesn't have the keys, but he still wants to attend to it. He wrestles with him, getting his dad in a headlock. At 2:15 a.m. some days later, he
God.
wakes up for no reason. He checks the door, finds it's unlocked. He locks the door, but can't get back to sleep. 15 minutes later, he hears a car with a bad muffler driving slowly before the engine cuts out 100 feet away. Minutes later, the front doorknob rattles, and Buck, the bloodhound, darts up and scares away who was ever there with barking, as Greg stands in the darkness holding a baseball bat. The next morning, Greg finds a beer bottle and a crumpled cigarette wrapper on the porch and remembers Gavin's promise to get me on a dark, cold winter night. This intro also includes this line. My life was broken in so many areas that it appeared impossible to overcome and correct them all. Each morning, I awoke to the smell of Dad's urine. I learned a lot about urine. He tries to take a ball of foil from his dad. His dad punches him in return, just cold cocks him from the side of the head. And then they wrestle. He pushes his dad away with all his might, and his dad falls, hitting his head on a chair, leaving him with a bruise and egg-sized bump on the head. They have had, I think, 2 to 3 physical confrontations. Later on, he has started booking in his dad to an adult daycare, to basically, a dementia daycare. He gets a call from the daycare from a worker called Brian. Brian says that Bain, the daycare director, spelt B-A-I-N, was going to report him because Dad had a goose egg-sized bump on his head and his face was bruised. They thought I had beat him up. Now, bearing in mind, this comes after he did, I would say, assault his dad.
Yeah.
He starts to feel the daycare turn against him with the introduction of Bain. Bain, he describes as a portly African-American man from the inner city where he ran a homeless shelter for single men. We never liked each other from the first day. Now, Bain is also maybe a...
Once again, very, very, I need the audience on my side. Yeah, let me remind you that there's African Americans in Missouri. It's a morning to check it out. Yeah, spooky. He's scared. I mean, clearly he's scared of his surrounding area. He has to know every time that someone is African American. So clearly he has a view of the world that is out to get him. Which, mind you, he's probably not doing well right now, considering the world. If he is being fully honest, and that's very egregiously untrue, the situation of Gavin, his brother, his younger sibling, seems pretty dire potentially. Who knows how serious that actually is or not? You don't want to fuck around to find out. And he's portly. That's true, right? he's got the Scott Steiner energy, where he's like, he's fat, just yelling that clip over and over. He's fat. It's like, all right, Scott Steiner, you let's just go back actually a bit here, just as a core reminder here, if we can find the earlier interview. I can't remember where it was here. Yeah, like right here. I could say he looks like he's been a happily, as I guess he would put it, more stocky man. doesn't seem to have a problem with that. And mind you, he's older, and keeping your weight down when you're older is his own different beast here. And I guess we did have him in his newspaper actually article earlier. He looked pretty young, stunning kind of guy too. So maybe that's where he really holds his view of himself in. Let me get back here, by the way. I shouldn't have actually done that in retrospect, but
The next morning, Greg finds a beer bottle. I awoke to the smell of dad pushes him in his might, and his dad falls, hitting his head on a physical an adult daycare. Brian says that Bane, the dazed bump on his head, and
there we go. All right. Thank you.
I would say assault
Feel
his
like a cheap
dad.
film. Yeah,
Starts
scary,
to the daycare
terrifying.
Turn against him with the introduction of Bane. Bane, he describes as a portly African-American man from the inner city where he ran a homeless shelter for single men. We never liked each other from the first day. Now, Bane is also maybe a little biased immediately against Greg's dad because Greg's dad calls Bane that mean N-word to his face. Greg does not censor
that would
word
do it.
in the book. Bane acted as if it didn't bother him, but I knew it cut him to the quick.
Yeah.
Brian,
That's a good way of getting there. That's a
tells
good
Greg
way
that he's a marked man.
of,
and that the daycare
making
staff
not
is less than
friends.
abusive. This is from Greg. Quote, I learned that adult daycare employees are a certain breed of people. They are content sitting all day long watching and entertaining the disabled, making minimum wage. To them, the client is an endangered species, and play act as is they are obsessed in treating them as such. It wasn't because they necessarily cared about the person, it was because of the legal liability if something happened to that person under their
What's a
care.
guy in legal
Now,
shit?
Just not interested in what happens to people under his care, and not really a criticism of the people. They should be paid a hero's wage.
Mm-hmm.
He clearly tries to get other criticisms of Bane going. He says that Bane drove onto
Yo,
his
we're
yard,
watching,
tearing up
we're
his lawn.
learning
The
of
place in question is
the man
Tanner's
Greg who
garage.
created
And maybe
Nudicles,
he
which
doesn't
is
have a
fake
driveway.
dog testicles,
Tammy,
which is
a
an
neighbor,
absolute
says
batshit
that
story
she
from his
saw
book
Bane
that he made.
driving fast.
What's up,
She
Esky? How you
says,
doing?
quote from the book, with a fat black man driving very fast and swerving in and out of heavy traffic. Now, let's do a quick check-in with the rest of the family. Gavin has become so fat he couldn't climb a ladder to trim a
God
tree.
damn.
This is just in keeping
Brother,
with
Greg,
Greg's
what the
branding
fuck?
of people who are evil as fat and who are fat as evil. DeWitt hadn't talked about Dad in months, but he did send Greg a Christmas present for Dad.
He's
every
very
year.
holier
He
than
always
thou
sent
kind of
his
person as
dad
well, on
a
top of everything
sweater.
else.
Care of Greg. He did not send Greg anything. When DeWitt does call Greg, it's to boast of his career. For example, of just buying a $60,000 Porsche or taking a $15K Disney World vacation or maybe buying a new home. And Greg's dad often wonders where Greg is to his face. And he calls Greg that man. Greg grows to
Oh shit,
hate
that
him.
man from
One
Guilty
day,
Gear. I know
daycare
him.
Employee Brian,
He's in the game
who
now. Greg's in the
Greg
game.
turns up to pick Dad up with his 18-month-old daughter in the back of a brand new rented Buick. On the way to the daycare, Brian makes a stop at his grandma's to pick something up, and Greg's dad moves the gear shift into neutral on a slope, and the car rolls backward for 3 blocks before slamming into a truck at an intersection. His 18-month-old is taken to hospital. This is parking America style. Absolutely no use for the handbrake in the American car, in the American brain. Also,
You know, you're not wrong. He's
shouldn't
not
have
wrong.
left your infant daughter in the car with the
That was
Alzheimer's
very
adult.
US-centric
In with
right
this,
there.
Greg drops the
God.
anecdote that a doctor from Indianapolis buys a
Yeah, if
large
you're on a
set of
hill,
Nudicles
please
for a
use your
dog,
handbrakes
then
and
calls
turn your
to complain
tires to
that they are not the right
angle
size, that
against
his
the
dog's rather
hill
dragging on the
if it
carpet
starts
because his
going,
dog
if it
is
loses his brakes for
actually
whatever
very
reason.
small, but he wanted his dog to have big nuts. Despite a 100% success rate, quoting from the book here,
Yeah.
and years of publicity worth countless millions of dollars, Nudicles had not caught on anywhere near anticipated projections.
Then
This is
it's
where
not
you
millions
get
of
to the
dollars.
point of true heartbreak, realizing that Greg Miller's goals
In cost or
were
earnings.
to make neutering with Nudicles as commonplace as
It's just
neutering
empathy and
without.
understanding.
He wanted it to just be a default thing that you would get your dog some prosthetic nuts.
God, it would. There's someone out there who's like,
You as
yeah,
an
he
owner
said nothing wrong about the
desperately
description of these
need your
people
dog
at
to
all.
have nuts. He provides the county.
They definitely are like a
finally
dog
with
whistle for
notice that
anything.
He is going to commit his father to a home so that he can receive the money that they had been taking care of for him from the sales of his dad's truck and house. On page 110, Greg's dad beats him over the head with a wooden plaque, and Greg pushes his dad so hard that his dad leaves a perfect outline of his body in the plasterboard. A week out from his dad going into a care home, the county takes
Jesus.
away Greg's guardianship of his father for alleged elder abuse, corroborated by the daycare employees Brian and Bane. Greg says this.
All right.
Bane and Brian.
I'm sorry. I had the image in my head, and then someone in Tom's chat said it. You know, like a cartoon character. And I just kind of imagine like the the pushing against like a wall thing, and just kind of like placed out like this. I'm like, fuck. that got me. That actually got me. I was like, I imagined it. I'm like, don't say anything, don't think anything. And now I saw someone else say like, fuck. I gotta stop for a second. I'm sorry. I'm weak to my imagery in my head. But good God, yeah, Looney Tunes exactly. Visited his sister at Fast car in a driveway with neighbors across the street because he neglected to apply the handbrake. I mean, I guess he made it to the driveway at least, so that's at least good for what that's worth. At least it was off the street and not through someone's garage.
These are the daycare employees. 2 minimum wage public high school educated outsiders.
Wow.
Have managed to place dad into an uncertain and terrifying point of no return. No, the Alzheimer's did that. Also, the vitriol, the pure venom
the outsiders
that he
did that,
puts
of course.
into 2 minimum wage public high school educated outsiders.
Right. God.
You know he's swallowing so many words there. With a few spoken words, they had discredited and bastardized my reputation. Years of sacrifices, losses, and efforts to keep dad away from what was happening to him now. Chapter 4 ends on this
you're
sentence.
so right.
How proud the infidels must feel, and may they be damned for it. He's talking like Sephiroth.
What? Yeah.
He's for real talking like Sephiroth. He's talking like a fucking black-white magic card, dude.
He's gonna
It's
throw some
insane.
materia at his. He's gonna throw some materia at his dad and be like, and fly away.
Had
Like, yep,
passed
wow, here I
since dad
go.
was snatched. Begins chapter 5. Greg is
That's what I'm
forced
totally
to
looking at.
resign
That-
the
that
guardianship
car
of
is
his
the
father,
luckiest
because
car
if
of
he
all
doesn't, apparently
time.
He will just sue and make him resign it, and he doesn't have the funds or the energy to take the case. Of course, he can't take it. He doesn't have the funds because he's being distracted.
Sorry, I looked over for a second there, and I noticed that my I hit some red there. I'm gonna give it a second for everything to catch up. If you need to refresh for a second, if it shut down at any point, I'm actually gonna change my output here again. An unfortunate thing for post storms, unfortunately, means that sometimes the internet gets a little bit choppy here and there. So I am getting some drop frames. So I'm going to pause for a second while it kind of stabilizes itself and lower the bit rate. I have to probably keep that a little bit lower until things kind of get repaired. Because there was a down power line in one of our main roads yesterday. I don't know if it's fixed now because I haven't gone outside. But yeah, it was like we had to actually take a way around it too. So yeah, let me turn that down there. We're good there. It looks like we're back to green. No more drop frames. All right, let's do this.
By his father, who he
Yeah,
has
exactly.
to,
It's
care
like,
for
oh,
and
yeah,
look
we're
up
taking care of these
24 hours
people
a day.
who really
His
can't take care of
lawyer also
themselves, like
advises
an
him not to
adult
take legal
daycare
action because the lawyer
for
has
minimum
to work
wage,
with these people
and he's
every
fucking
day.
mad at
That's
them for
interesting
earning minimum wage.
to hear as a prospective client. He seeks guardianship of his father. On Greg's birthday, his beloved dog
Absolutely
Bug,
batshit
the
insane.
inspiration for Nudicles, passes away. The Examiner, Independence, Missouri's paper, runs a front-page story commemorating Buck, which is publicity. And Greg loves publicity. Greg prints the entire story in his book, and he frames the paper to hang in his home. It is genuinely front-page news. Greg finds solace in how many people read the story when it's picked up by
people
Associated
every
Press
day.
and Flash News distributors. He says this: millions
Dear
of
God,
people
no,
learned
I
of
cannot
Buck's
be
death,
affiliated with you.
and sharing
Jesus
the news of
fuck.
people helped fill a hole that had been left in my heart and my life forever. Now, I do want to say also in this video, you also see this, a sculpture of a face smoking a cigar. I just had like a wild guess here, and I was right. Because if you Google cigar sculpture, it immediately comes up. It is available everywhere you could possibly think of buying a sculpture. It is available on Amazon. Greg decides to sell his house. His 10 acres has been ruined by the memories of his father and also by his father.
I gotta send that to
who had, without
Geop
him
when he does
knowing,
his furniture
emptied bags and bags and bags of trash
store
into the
or
wildflowers that
stream.
once grew there. In selling his house, he meets Toby Evans, who lives nearby, who has some friends who would like to look at the house. Now, I want to talk to you about Toby Evans.
Oh no. Everyone's a real main character energy out here. Holy shit. Singer-songwriter of Dane Minister, past life life lives between spiritual regression and certified even a casket record, a consultant. Soul detective.
Certified soul
Keeper
detective.
of the Prairie
Keeper of the
Labyrinth.
Prairie Labyrinth. All of her titles could be put on a Bloodborne boss health bar.
She's a soul detective. I didn't know
Toby
Ghost Trick
Evans
was about her.
Encounters Greg
Holy
when
shit.
he is looking to sell his house. Toby Evans is a believer of past lives. Across several podcasts and some press releases, she lists her past lives. In all of the past lives that I've found her recounting, she is indigenous. In one past life, she was a Native American man whose family was being massacred by another group of Native Americans, led by the soul that would become her husband. In another past life, she was a Native American girl whose family was being massacred by Union soldiers. The Union soldiers were commanded by a soldier who was the soul that would become her husband, and the soul that in this life is her son was one of the other soldiers. She could sense this. In all of her past lives, she is an indigenous person who dies terribly.
I just gotta process this for a bit. My soul has been oppressed for so long that they finally made me white. My child doesn't look like let's get on a boss health bar. I think you're pretty close, actually, Metabot. You're master of esports, Yoshi's Cookie master of esports or something like that. I think you're basically there. You just have to rearrange some of those words to get like a dictionary for some synonyms in there. I said synonyms in there, and you're good to go, Metabot. You're right there. It's worse than that. Oh God, because what's indigenous. I mean, that's also true. So I pointed out that the Union soldier bit is a dog whistle of sorts. Oh, I haven't even heard that one before, actually. But I don't think you're deviating too much. Don't worry. We have all deviated, per my own pausing, to Toby's existence as a whole. The Herald of Yoko is really good. Holy shit. Metabot, the Herald of Yoko is way good. Now all you have to do is find the font that they use in Bloodborne, Elder Scrolls, whatever they use. Elden Ring, it's not Elder Scroll. I don't know either of those games. And you're good to go. You're seriously go. You're seriously amazing. To that game. I still have much to learn. It doesn't matter. You just want the Bloodborne bar. We're just trying to give you a good name, not truth. I'm sure that the master of whatever at whatever other thing that Dark Souls bosses are named after are not that great if you can beat them. So, and you don't have a cool name unless you make one in the game. But there's been too many people that I've been seen called Flex Bicepium killing Gwyn, I think their name is, and Lord of Souls or something like that. I don't remember their name. That we just need to get you a cool name. I mislike these words of Toby. Yeah, Yoko is sure to fall. That's right. That's right. The Joker Man font. Is that seriously what it's called? So that's amazing, actually. All right. Whew. Okay.
Is the final boss of Babe, I Just Had the Craziest Dream.
Yes.
She says, I always had an infinity, her era.
Lord
to
of Cinders.
Native
Yeah, there we go.
Americans,
That sounds right.
preferring to be the Indian instead of the cowboy. And for my 5th birthday, I received a full headdress and outfit that I often wore. You can't be talking like that, white baby. Growing up Catholic didn't allow for the possibility of other lifetimes. So I kept rejecting the past life notion, yet many things kept pointing me in this direction. In her book, Soul Bridge to Original Light,
Oh, of course she has a
Toby
book.
Evans lays out the mission of the Soul Bridge, which
I'm taking a half moment here to say, if you don't think you can write a book, remember this shit right here. Remember that she made a book and Dog Testicle Guy has made a book, and it reads like this from episodes from these books. Write your shit, Please.
is to assist the crossing over of the massive number of souls from the 4 races.
Also assists cigars. You can sell anything.
Black, white, and yellow.
Wonderful. Excellent.
Close parentheses. Who died throughout American history and remained here. She tells Greg, in meeting him, that she feels a negative energy from him, from the inventor of the fake dog testicles. She suggests that she smudge the house for Greg by burning sage. Greg sits in a chair and puts his feet on an ottoman as Toby burns the sage and waves the smoke down towards him with a feather. The next morning, Greg wakes up with no anxiety for the first time in years. Toby tells Greg that his mother did not go to heaven, instead staying tethered to Greg and the house to keep watch over him and his dad. The auric imprint left on Greg's auric field was from her. And to relieve him of that auric imprint, they need to cut the cord that is keeping her on this world. I'm just going to quote from the book here. Toby said my mother was angry with me the morning she died at the hospital. She was angry with me for yelling at Dad, who was insisting I take him home that moment, leaving her to die alone. She said she wanted me and Dad to leave so she could, in fact, die alone. Toby said it appalled my mother that I said, "Okay, Dad, let's get the fuck out of here." No one, but no one on this earth knew of that night's incident or that remark, except those in the ICU unit of the hospital that horrible early morning 5 years prior. I am now going to backtrack for a reveal. I have been keeping something from you. Is that scattered throughout the book, completely unhinged and unmoored from any other part of the Nudical story, or from the story of him being given death threats by his little brother, are what I've come to term Greg's miracles. Greg's miracles are as follows. When Greg brings Buck the Bloodhound home for the first time, he notices a ray of sunlight entering through the front door window. Bright sunlight casts a spotlight beam, perfectly framing an 8x10 photo of Hank, his first dog, which was on a bookcase shelf across the room. While I had lived there for 4 years, and the picture of Hank had been in the same spot for almost that long, the ray of light seen that late afternoon had never been seen before and was never seen again. Greg, throughout the book, has had encounters with the unexplained. Page 43. I was getting a shirt from the dresser drawer in the southwest corner of my bedroom when I heard an odd noise above me in the attic. It was just in that one corner, within a certain small area. It was a muffled noise that almost sounded like a single voice. When I stepped back a foot or so, it couldn't be heard. But when I stepped forward, back into that small area, the noise returned. What could it be? I asked myself as I went back outside to see if the wind was blowing to create the sound. There was no breeze. I went back to the bedroom and stood in the same spot, and the noise was gone and the incident forgotten. Later on in page 76, he says, the muffled noises in the southwest corner of my bedroom had returned after all these months. I had hoped that the unexplainable muffled sounds I had first heard weeks after my mother was buried were my imagination, but they weren't. The noises were real. And now there were 5 or 6 different tones that could best be described as
he's linking them all together himself.
Like a conversation, one muffled voice could be heard for a few seconds, then another would start, then stop. Sometimes 3 or 4 voices could be heard at once. Overtalk. Pretty bad etiquette. Once I told Tips on the phone while Dad was listening that I heard strange muffled tones and couldn't figure out what they were. Dad replied, "God damn it. That's something you don't talk about." And now we come to Greg's longest written out miracle. I was finishing a round of Earth2025.com when an empty Coke can, that's a turn-based online game.
Okay, I was about to
Coke can, which was sitting 2 feet away on my desk, gently began to edge forward to where my arm rested. It was as if it was being pushed. It would move, then stop, then move again. I couldn't believe my eyes. While I had the same desk for over 20 years and had drank thousands of Cokes, putting the can in or about the same place, a can had never slid forward before. I felt the can, and it was bone dry on the outside, with only a few drops remaining inside. The desktop was also dry. Being a smoker, ashes covered the can's path. Even cake crumbs were brushed away as I wiped the surface with my hand, which discounted the idea of the can hydroplaning. The can was placed back where it had been before, and I again began to surf the internet. Within several minuets, his error, the can edged gently forward again, exactly as it had only moments before, moving an inch or so, then stopping, then moving several more inches until it reached and gently touched my arm. I ignored it. I blocked what had happened from my mind. I knew something beyond my comprehension had just occurred, but I ignored it like it had never happened because there was no conceivable
I'm just
explanation.
embracing Greg's miracles right
That
now.
concludes the list of Greg's miracles. But Greg has been in contact with the other side
Holy
without
shit.
him knowing it throughout the
That is
The muffled
unfortunate.
voices and music were 7 other earthbound spirits who'd been brought into the house by his mother's presence. On page 129, Greg takes Toby's journal and prints that in the book, as she has offered to assist him in a ceremony that will help his mother leave this plane. Toby Evans records seeing a center of white
Because
light
I am a
opening
person
up
who's like,
over her labyrinth.
I believe in the placebo effect when it
to
comes to at least
recap,
medicine.
When I say over her labyrinth, people might not know what.
Also, let me pause here because we're going to get to Tobyisms here, it sounds like. But I am of the belief, like, hey, look, sometimes some form of placebo does wonders for people. And I will not discount a lot of those effects if it seems to be actually helping and not, causing future problems. I'm of that side of things a lot more than maybe most people would expect. So if there's something that's working here, great. I am very worried about the future of this story, though. Still, I'm always worried about it.
I mean, this is a labyrinth.
I see.
This is like a thing that you walk. It's a form of kind of physical prayer or meditation or tribute. So you walk along this track, and as you do, you think about whatever you're doing. It's used in a lot of spiritual.
It's very pretty.
Practices.
I'll give it that.
That is what she has provided Greg with the ability to do. She keeps labyrinths on her land. Toby Evans sees a center of white light open
Where's
up over
Pan?
the center of the Virgin
This is
Mary
Pan's
placed in the
labyrinth right
center
here.
of her labyrinth.
This must
She
be
sees
it.
Spirit helpers ready to guide Marion home. On Soul Bridge, Toby Evans' docu-podcast, Evans goes into how we are all one, talking about how humankind divides itself over racial lines due to trauma, and it enslaves itself by doing so. Terrazel Inc., the company that produces her docu-podcast and publicizes it, keeps the slideshow running over her words. As she says this, the docu-podcast slideshow shows Justin Trudeau walking flanked by rainbow flags, a trans child smiling with her schoolmates, and Joe Biden with his hand on Volodymyr Zelensky's back. I want to talk now about the Stone Register,
Yeah, Claire
the
responded.
company that does this podcast. The Stone Register is a self-proclaimed boutique advertising company in New York City, and in my opinion, they fucking suck.
Oh my-
The Stone Register says that depending on scheduling, availability, and general approval, they pride themselves on taking clients along with us on our journey to the top. If we feel you'll benefit by being part of our Thomson Reuters TSR campaigns, then that is precisely where you'll end up. 11 billboards simultaneously playing our still images or moving advertisements.
Yeah, one of those.
This is an
Either you're
example of what
successful
this
or
place
you
fucking does.
failed
It is
to be successful.
maybe the stupidest business I've ever seen in my life. They publicize that they are members of the Forbes Business Council, that they are pleased to announce their official selection by Forbes to be included in their esteemed business council for a 4th consecutive year from 2020 to 2023. Now, that means that they have paid their subscription fee to be in the Forbes Business Council. The Forbes Business Council and the Forbes councils as a whole are a fucking scam. Not a scam because they do give you what they promise, which is the ability to pitch articles to Forbes that they will then not provide with any SEO, and they will only publicize on their Forbes Council online profiles, not the main one.
Wow.
We're paying a subscription to be sold things constantly, and this guy is wearing it like a badge of honor. It is
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do a little bit of research for
on
myself.
A bunch of
Hold on a
spill any SEO, pitch the council, the Forbes Business Council, and the Forbes councils as a whole.
Oh wait, I can't
are
check
a
that out. Never
fucking
mind.
scam.
I was gonna check out how big Forbes Business Council is in terms of follower count. I don't know if I can be able to see that because I'm outside looking in. Forbes Business Council Twitter. Let me see if I can maybe see it. I'd be curious to see how big of an audience that they have there. Oh, I can see it for half a second here. Let's see if I can refresh the page and maybe see it. Nope, can I not? Damn. I was hoping I could. Okay. Okay. I need to I can kind of see it for half a second there. It looks like it's about 3,000 people. From a very quick glance at it, it looks like it's about 3,000 people. So even worse so, like, yes, they'll publish it to, you know, a very hyper-specific audience who's probably all people who are paying for the Forbes Business Council anyway. And like I said, no SEO, no nothing like that. So you're pandering to an audience of 3,000-ish equally drinking the Kool-Aid people by paying this monthly subscription, basically. Absolutely dog shit.
Because they do give you what they promise, not provide sold things constantly, and this guy is wearing it like a badge of honor. It is some seriously MBA brain shit. Here's what the Stone Register does for people who sign up for their services. They get your advertising material on a bunch of billboards in Times Square for, at a guess, 45 seconds. And you can see here that this Times Square advertisement for the new podcast by a preacher has not completely taken off. Obviously, this is predicated on people who are in Times Square looking up.
Today we are speaking with Dr. Deborah Ford.
That is the person who runs this company. They sell a package that basically says, we will help you produce a docu-podcast. We are going to give you advertising across New York City, aka this.
Also,
area
Soul
of
Path
Times Square.
Final One.
And
Good name.
The podcast, we will
Good
make
SEO.
a video component for it as well. What that means is that they are going to make you the world's worst content. I want to bring up here their YouTube channel, where they upload all of their shit. Check this shit out. Here is their YouTube channel. This is the only place that this stuff gets uploaded and then gets absolutely 0 views. Soul Bridge with Toby Evans.
4,
is
9.
successful.
Jesus.
They also upload the draft edits. They seem to work almost
Okay, yeah.
exclusively
I was
in
wondering about
Christian
that,
or
honestly.
pop or
So, like,
other,
it's
you know,
it's
kind of
called
conservative
Final.
leaning areas.
So clearly
basically
they
just
do a
upload
dog shit
videos
job of
their
it.
Billboards and their dog shit podcasts that no one would
My
ever watch.
God.
Except
This
for
is
me, because I needed to find out. more
clearly
about
I need to be
Evans.
working
I
a
also
lot
wanted to
less
take a second to
hard.
highlight the fact that the owner of this business appears.
Yo,
to have
what's up,
bought
Mia? How you
somebody
doing?
A cameo
Randy
from
Rainbow.
Randy Rainbow.
Barbara, I just
Wow.
rolled out of bed. Actually, I'm in the middle of doing a video. That is why
What's going on? Happy Sunday to you.
I didn't get dressed for you. But anyway, I'm just checking in to say congratulations on your brand new online series. And you're pretty fancy. I mean, I understand you just came to New York and saw yourself on the NASDAQ.
If I explain to you, you're like, you think I'm lying to you. We're watching a story written by Greg something, whose last name I can't remember for some reason. The inventor of nudicles, or fake dog testicles.
Terrifies me to think of the amount that was
This-
charged for this.
This goes far.
just a
This goes
short
very far.
diversion
I'll
from
just
the
send you the
main
link right now
subject
so
here,
that you
which
can,
is, of course,
if you wish to watch it later, you can.
to say
But
that
you should
this
also
is
not
bizarre to
click
me.
out at
It is
this point
bizarre to
either.
be talking about a man who is all about the sale at the cost of
difference-
everything else.
Yeah, the difference is though, so it's as work. They show you the vibe of McDonald's and the food of McDonald's, and you go, I want that a little bit at least, or I am hungry.
For an interactive and modern approach.
Versus, hey, look, hey,
just keep the art
hey,
design of
guys, hey, everyone. I have a YouTube. I have a Twitch channel. Actually, I'll give you an even better deal. I have a Twitch channel. If you just want me to like slap an advertisement on my Twitch channel for like 20 seconds and you want to pay me money for that, you know, let's go do it. I'm sure you'll get a lot of response for whatever dog shit image I put together and just slap on the screen and have no heart behind it, but have a lot of money behind it. I'm sure that's going to be great. I'm sure you'll like that. No one's going to see it, basically, but maybe some people will. They're basically just a video upload service at that point, which is the very funny part. There's a video upload service, and the service is still just basically YouTube for people who probably don't know how to use YouTube that well or use any video editing that well. And I just see that shit, and I go in my head and like, I should just work less hard and make it seem like making a video is some sort of mystical, unapproachable thing that can only be done by experts, and give the most dog shit outcome possible and just upload it to my fancily named YouTube and say, yeah, this is advertising right here. This is it, to those people. Yeah, you subscribe to AOL but don't have a computer. Exactly. Well, Temple, oh no. Or John McAfee. That learning about John McAfee was That is, once again, one of those things that just like, how did we get here? How did this just keep going? How did this happen? You got the commentate for Boston Blue Beat? Oh, hell yes. I've popped in every now and then, and I might have heard you, honestly, because I kind of kept it on in the background, so I didn't look who was commentating. But it sounds like things are going really well over there, and that makes me so happy, because the numbers seem really high as of late. I'm like, yes, they fucking deserve that for so damn long. And I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of you as well for hopping on the train and making sure that they have good commentary on top of everything else. Jade's helping too. Oh, okay. Yes. And Jade's going to be... Now that Jade has played the game for so long, she's gotten like a much more full force ideology of the gameplay. And as a result, now it's not like, oh, she could just talk about Eno. She could talk about the entire concept of the game. Understands like, oh, this being -6 gives these general options to these characters here overall, because she experiences that through her character and a specialty. So it's probably helping out a lot in that regard. This is very unfortunate. Well, what's up, boys and dog? How you doing? We're taking some time to chill and watch videos on YouTube. So we're watching about the guy, Greg, who invented nudicles, which are fake dog testicles. So the voice of dog coming in is very funny. Yo, what's up, though? Thank you for reading Comedio. We're happy to have you all here in this absolutely insane rabbit hole dive on this guy's book. And we are so far removed at this point from the actual guy himself, and yet we're still not done with him whatsoever. Thanks for you, though. Variety streamer on twitch.tv.com. Doesn't get much more variety than this. How you all doing? What do you get up today? Hopefully you had a good stream. Let me give you a quick shout out before I have to start this video again here. There we go. Hell yeah. Having the forefront of the scene, house driving knowledge to yeah. T5, excellent commentator, knower of game. Wonderful to have, on the front side of everything. Yo, what's up, Dark Gob? Yo, what's up, Spuck Bucket? Yeah, nudicles. Exactly. Okay. As long as someone is coming in and says, okay, I know what we're talking about now, and not like, Ryuta, what the fuck? That makes things a lot better. That makes things a hell of a lot better. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, we're most of the way through the video here. As we get to the last minute, by the way, as people roll in, as I have been warned, in the last minute of this video, there is a dog penis in the last minute. So I just want to give a heads up. Apparently, Tom Walker here streamed this all on Twitch and was fine with it. So I assume I'm going to be fine with it. But also, if my stream goes down forever as a result of this, it was nice knowing you all. Anyways, did I have testicles? I will spend so much extra money. I will spend so much extra money. No, I'm gonna make shit up. Who knows if he's even healthy for the dogs? And like, he almost started off with like the same point that I had, right? Was like, I have heard stories of dogs getting neutered and getting a lot of aggression issues as a result of it. And it's like, okay, yeah. That's actually maybe potentially a good starting point to start researching this and see if this is a thing that's actually an issue that can be alleviated by them not knowing any better. Probably not, but I think it's a good starting for a research point. It doesn't sound like that. It's just like, my dog looks like a girl and I'm mad. And it's like, oh, brother. And then it just, every description of every character that he does not like has really filled this role of, man, being a white man is really good and correct and morally appreciable. And if you're anything else, you're wrong. Because you showed a dog dick. I've always said that if I ever get banned from Twitch, it's going to be something that's actually funny. And this would fall under the line of actually funny. I hope it doesn't happen. But if Tom could do it, I could do it, right? Right? That's how this works, right? Oh gosh. Yeah, let me show dog. Yeah, what if it's a dog came in the last minute and it's just a dog is on screen? I'm gonna have to have like a backup plan. Like if someone raises it at that last minute, I'm gonna click to another tab really quickly. Like I don't even want to explain myself on this one. Oh gosh. Tom is a white male, but he isn't out there espousing, the negativities of everyone that he explains as African American, fat, low income, high school educated. Tom has said none of this. Greg has. And Greg is basically at the point of, wow, being a white male is great. And if you're not a white male, you're doing things very wrong. How dare you? This is a knock on Greg, not Tom. Tom's been doing great. I have nothing to say bad about Tom. I mean, I wish he put the wig back on, but I mean, outside of that, that's a completely different problem. Because it's streamed, that would be very funny too. Just come back and Twitch is like, really? I did make the algorithm, okay? Well, you get aggression sometimes because their hormone levels are unbalanced sometimes. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't think it would work, but it's a reasonable starting point for studying it. And it doesn't sound like he studied it. It sounds like he went to the vet and said, do you have fake dog testicles? I will make a fake dog testicle because this seems like the only way to go. And it's like, okay, well, now you've missed the entire, curious question point that you could work from and turn it into a gendered question of you feel bad about your dog. Yeah, like I said, her followers overnight. Look, it's dog fucker Ryuno. No! No! From unknown to well-known, the story of watching a video about nudicles. I'll write a book about it, and maybe I will sell 3 copies or something like that, and then they'll invite me to some half-ass comedian show, television show for it's 6 running episodes. I'll see you all on television. This is gonna how it works. Greg's audience can't say that. Greg's audience definitely cannot say that. I don't think Greg has any friends. Now I'm thinking about everything he's talked about from everyone else. He doesn't like the person who's running the adult daycare. He seems to be very standoffish with all of his family right now. Mind you, I don't know if that's entirely on his end. He doesn't really, at least from this book review, he hasn't talked about any friends that he trusts. Everything he relates to in his life has been about family. And not in the funny, ha-ha, cool Vin Diesel way, let's go drive cars. In the, my brother Gavin said he's going to get me back on a cold winter night. Also, Toby's here, and she only has 20 job titles and believe that she was a Native American for her past 3 lives and abused as a result of being a Native American for the past 3 lives. So, this is where we're at right now. Oh, gosh. But, says the groups have written books. That's the way to go. You're right. I'm working too hard out here trying to be positive and say good things with my life experience and things I study and things I've done on. No, just write a fucking book and make shit up along the way. I can do that. You're right. Hey, get out of here, bot. The third one for today. God damn. By my food delivery on the next block. Oh, God. They kind of fucked that one up. You do not have natural 20 luck on your roll. The food did not roll into your driveway, unfortunately. Dude, GG. Someone said a noise Tom made startled him and made him drop the last piece of wedding cake. Oh, it was a first touch. Look, if you're going to make a first time chat, sometimes you should be very phony upon the entry. And that's one of the situations you're just well, that sticks with us forever now. Wedding cake dick. Perfect OP husband behavior. Yeah, that guy's definitely going to grow up to be a very lovable person. It's look, here's my vulnerability. I'm living like this. Someone else will find this funny. That's good. That's good, right? All right, let's finish off this video strong and or with dog dick.
This here. In your mind, this seems to me reason to think that Nudicles is also used this particular company.
When you neuter with Nudicles, it's like nothing ever changed.
What? Well, I gave him fake testicles.
That sound is because I've been using it for each chapter here.
Ah. I'm that does sound familiar. Why is that? Oh, right.
The reason I've been using it for each chapter is because I think it should be used somewhere. is the Newticles jingle. It was announced on the Newticles official site as being used on their new site whenever you would load it up. Unfortunately, it does not currently work, and so I had to do view page source, get into the CSS, and download it manually.
Wow.
Greg Miller walks the labyrinth.
And I'm
At the
learning
center of
CSS
this
right now,
labyrinth, in front
finally,
of the
so-
statue of the Virgin Mary, Toby Evans sings Love's Home, the song Greg's mother's spirit picked out for her to sing to him the night before.
I feel like I should probably just do a small catch up here. So Greg's dad is out of the picture now, due to adult daycare, stuff like that. We'll just keep that very, very broad. And I'm so sorry. Yeah, I mean, work's paying for it, so I'm not against that. It's not something I super need, but it's like I've always needed to learn how to actually write better emails in terms of technology, and I've never really done that, so that'll help. I'm gonna put this video also in chat here as well. But yeah, so dad's out of the picture. He was about to sell his dad's house as a result. One of his neighbors, Toby, who is the woman who I said has like 20 different job titles, made up job titles, mind you, and has been resurrected as a Native American in her spirit multiple times and has been abused in every lifestyle until where she is now, which is very white, is now basically ghostbustering his house with sage, burning sage, and making Greg walk through this path to detach his dead mom's spirit from the house and himself, and hopefully get rid of all of his anxieties and troubles and his bad vibes throughout life. That's the heavy abridged version of why we're in this garden and Greg's walking around and thinking about life as part of the ritual to Ghostbust his house. And that's what it was. I'm like, I don't think he passed yet. He was sent to a home. Yeah, okay. This might have been allowed to after, assaulting him multiple times. And he also definitely wants to call the owner of the original adult daycare the N-word, and then call the workers that are working at the home low-income, high school educated folks as well. So, just to give you a little bit more value on Greg, which is none at all. You're taking value away from him because he doesn't deserve it at all.
Toby senses Marion turning to her before disappearing, saying that she thanked her for the ceremony and asked Greg to tell Bud that she had gone on. Also of note, this extract where Greg simply publishes Toby's diary entry of the ritual that she performs for Greg is the only reason we know Greg's mom's name. Everywhere else she is just referred to as mom. Here, she is given a first name. Greg decides to sell his house. The land I had once held so dear was left behind without looking back. It was as if a devastating...
I wonder if this
storm
went to
had
Toby's
passed,
friend
which had
or
taken
not.
everything with it.
I also
There was
wonder if this
nothing
went
more
to
be
Toby's
taken
friend in the long
or to
run.
be lost. He sells his house to a couple who recognize him. The man turns to his wife and says, "This is Greg Miller. He's famous." This, by the way, is the
Also,
actual
that keeps
labyrinth
happening,
that is on
apparently,
Toby Evans'
allegedly.
land. You can check it out by her,
Everyone seems to know
Sagebrush
him.
website that is still up. One of the websites is still up. The other one that is listed on the press releases has been taken over by squatters and now features flashing porn gifs. The Jackson County, Missouri Conservator's Office squanders the money from Leo Jackson's
That does
account,
happen. That's
according to
true.
Greg. On March 14th,
It got me once on
Greg
stream
gets
when
a
I was
call from
doing
his dad's
Legends of the Hidden
guardian that
Temple
his father
Wikipedia.
is dying. He goes to see him in a care home, finds him completely unrecognizable, bald, toothless, and looking frankly skeletal. He tells him then that his mom had moved on.
Oh, now
to
he's
the
too
other side.
skinny.
Dad's eyes opened completely, and he smiled as he tried to say something, but I couldn't begin to understand his faint attempts, which changed to a humming sound, as if he was trying to sing. That is the end of the book.
What?
So he hasn't visited him since putting him in the home. That is the end. Those are the final words
that is the
in
end.
the book. That's it. That's how we see out the grand story of the fake dog testicles. I do have some post-book news.
No, man. Yeah,
This
they
book was published
pointed at
in
him like, oh, I know
2005.
him.
In
That's a dog testicle
2005,
guy.
He
I know him.
found out what Wikipedia was, and he made a Wikipedia page for Newticles. He says
Oh, it's
there
made
that
by
Newticles
him!
was awarded the Ig Nobel Prize, except he doesn't. What he says is Newticles was awarded the capital I, capital G Nobel Prize for Medicine by Harvard University. He also claims he was the first 18-year-old to run for office in the United States.
Yeah.
Later amended to He was the first 18-year-old to run for office in Independence, Missouri. And he states that he came second, when in fact, from the Kansas City Times on the 5th of April, 1972, he came third. Hang on was going nuts, referring to his dad.
Just keeps making shit up.
Going nuts. The title of this book and the cracked nuts on the cover is a dual reference to the fake testicles, but also to his dad's descent into and death from Alzheimer's disease. He states during caring for his father that he refers to the act of making sure that his dad can't get into a car or access things that could hurt him. He refers to that in his own head as crazy proofing, and to stop himself from hating his dad, he starts referring to his dad in his own head as Wacky Pappy. In 2006, Greg makes an account on Wikipedia after editing from only an IP account. The Newticles account, which is Greg, changes the Newticles Wikipedia account to the text of a previously released press release. After this, an anonymous user adds an image to the page of what is purported to be a human scrotum, post-castration and Neuticle replacement. The person in question was anonymous, only identifiable by IP, but they are likely the user Richie X, who has been banned from Wikipedia multiple times for repeatedly adding a picture of their own nuts to any page they could get it on. The image has been removed from the page at this
Richie
point.
X, please.
At the point where I found
Whoever you are.
it was at that point being used as the image for the Wikipedia page of testicles on Finnish Wikipedia, and it was the photo for scrotum on Belarusian Wikipedia. It has since been removed as the picture of testicles on Finnish Wikipedia, and if you want to see the photo, which again was erroneously claimed to be filled with nudicles, you can head over to Belarusian Wikipedia to look at the article for scrotum. On the 5th
Yeah, if you want to see Richie X's scrotum, it's available for you. I'm sure that's something that you are very much looking forward to.
Greg Miller's Wikipedia page.
I won't stop
over the
you.
course of 3 minutes.
I won't judge you.
The line is, Miller's childhood was quite tumultuous. The editor is anonymous. The line is dropped into the article, which would then be deleted off of Wikipedia several years later for failing to meet relevancy standards, and then deleted by the same user after sitting on Wikipedia for 3 minutes. In 2017, an F3 tornado strikes what Greg Miller refers to as Neuticle land, as proved here on Facebook, and goes between Greg's house and his neighbor's house, touching down 50 feet away, vaporizing everything in its path. The tornado in question killed 14 cows and injured 44 people. You can see here on the Facebook page for Newticles, once again trying to get away with Ig Nobel, a 2005 winner of the LG Nobel Peace Prize for Medicine. Not what it's called.
It is. It is so
Newticles are highlighted
wild.
in exhibition at the
Someone said,
Tokyo
this is the
Dome
best.
at
The internet has been the
Amsterdam.
best thing
An
for
anime rendering
me.
Greg Miller
Exhibition.
explains that the Newticles are an artificial replacement testicle for dogs. In 2018, Greg Miller is interviewed by CNBC reporters for the program Strange Success.
When I'm driving my brand new car,
What was I saying? I forgot.
The billboard, I get this rush that is indescribable. I mean, it's a feeling of wow.
Greg Miller is living the dream.
That, to me, sums up Greg Miller. He loves fame. He loves publicity. He wants to be
really seems
an
to
ads
be.
man. He wants to be beloved, to be known. He doesn't really care how it happens, as far as I can tell. He needs people to know that
there's
he's
so
right.
many people who are
He
like
needs
that,
people to
too.
know that he is being wronged, and he loves attention almost as much, if not more so, than he loves money. So have you seen this email I sent to Slobes after the order? Let me check this. This is a message to Slobes, who purchased this wonderful grab bag of merch that I have on me today. All of the items fit very nicely in a reasonably small box that can be used to forward on to Australia. Each item is individually packed. A treasure trove of Neuticle wear. Other than a 500-piece keyring order to the TV show To Tell the Truth years ago, this was the largest Neuticle wear order in our 28-year history. That explains why he was so panicked when he received the order that he immediately cancelled it. I also want to highlight this from the CNBC program Strange Success that interviewed Miller.
His father has since passed away, and somewhere along the line, Buck the Bloodhound also crossed the Rainbow Bridge to the other side.
He died a hideous death, by the way.
Sorry, I didn't ask how. I just didn't really want to know.
Really good. It's really fantastic. Greg, the kind of guy that just
Holy
volunteered
shit.
that stuff. Nudicles continues from strength to strength today.
I just
It is
just
featured
don't
on
tell
The
me more,
Kardashians.
please.
It
I'm
is
I'm
featured
good.
On,
No,
pretty
thanks.
much
I'm
any
full.
TV show that ends up needing to put many, many, many hours of content out because it is something to talk about that makes people talk. That's what brought
Yeah.
me to it. He
Yeah.
makes his way to places that need things to talk about. He makes his way to reality TV, to daytime talk shows, to anywhere that is the perfect place for someone who just can talk. And he is
Oh, great. Yeah, I'm all Gregged out.
talking, right? He is incredible talent at talking. The overwhelming feeling I
Yeah, I'll
had
say he
from
seems
this-
like he's a good talker once he gets in front of somebody.
Oh, just realized it's what the fuck am I doing with my life? Before that, before I got deep enough into this guy's life that I read every single fucking article he wrote in his like 3 years that he worked at the Tipton Times or whatever, before I understood where the 3rd district in Independence, Missouri is, the feeling that I had was that it is so interesting to have someone tell you who they are. Both in ways that they're aware of, where he says that being famous, he essentially does the fucking Arnie talking about getting a pump speech, but about seeing his face on a billboard or hearing himself on the radio. Also, in
That
the way
is
that he lays
a
out
very good
every
scene
one
from
of his
Pumpin' Iron.
interactions with people around him as never including a fault for himself. So I guess
Yeah,
I'd say
he's
it's a
never
7
had
out
a
of
fault in
10.
his entire story at
A
all.
light 7. Some interesting parts. I liked when there were dogs. I have one really good video that I want to show you. I forgot about it because it's on Facebook. You're going to lose your fucking minds. So this is
All right.
an example.
Last minute, by the way, as I'm like, I'm gonna check this out. Make sure it's time. Last minute, as a heads up, apparently there is a show of dog penis somewhere in this last minute of the video. Want to just give you a heads up if you want to be listen only. Give you the time to backdash out if you need to. It's just the last minute of the video, so you're not missing a whole lot. It might just be more of a, you know, a listening thing anyway. He did this on Twitch. I'll probably be fine. Yes, and also the wig is back. It's like Tom heard my wishes 8 months ago and said, yeah, someone else in the future named Ryudo will want to see this wig again after demanding it in his own stream. This is it. This is the time for Ryudo's wig obsession. I do not have anything of the sort. Just looks flattering on him.
Of someone who has had nudicles installed in their dog. Get ready to see the most insane ball layout.
Oh,
in this
God.
Weimaraner.
Oh, God.
Neutering her dog made Shauna
Beautiful
feel bad.
Weimaraner.
She didn't want him to live a life without testicles, so she got him.
No! You spun that shit 90 degrees.
Them shits are stacked like these playing columns. Why?
Aerodynamics, yeah, they're drafting behind the penis.
Oh, shit. Finally, we get documentation that this has been installed somewhere along the way, and it fucking looks like that. Oh my God. That poor dog. I need some music to clear my brain here. Let me put some more of that Chrono Cross piano music on. Need something else here. I need purity. Yeah, they did it wrong. looked at the that's a little bit loud. Let's turn it down again here. And I'll turn it down for y'all a bit here. Okay, we're good. Just took one look at the dog piece and said, yeah, I could make that happen. Shit! I did it wrong. How could this be? I mean, I guess it's not better. I was gonna say, at least it's not like a 45-degree angle thing. I'm like, no, that's not better. At least there's some degree of correctness there. They literally just flipped the script on that thing and just stacked it all together and said, whatever, they're in there. What do you want from me? It's like they really looked at it and said, "That's a 50-50 chance we get this right." Oh, damn. Also, what's up, Siren? How you doing? I can't Emmanuel Gora. Good to see you, San, as well. Serious on his own time. I definitely feel like I need to at least subscribe after that and maybe watch more of his own videos as well, because very funny in the first part, and two, it just sounds like the GTA, everything moving at 999% faster speed. Sounds like just a very rampantly good time as well. Yeah, just really highlight how little it matters to the dog. That's like, why are these things here the all the time? I don't know. I don't got shit to worry about. I'm about to be fed. Food. I love food. Food's great. I'm gonna eat food. Like, wasn't worried about that shit at all. But I'm sure glad that woman felt so inspired by reballifying her dog. And I mean, I guess I couldn't see the interview, but I assume she was happy enough to not say, "Dear God, remove it." I guess there's some sort of value in there for her. It's something. Yeah, let's go gambling. Oh, dang it. Like, that's when the machine lands on, like, you know how machines, like, in, like, video games, they try to do, like, the casinos and stuff like that. They're like, oh, yeah, there's, like, one cherry and, like, 2 other things. And they'll get you, like, your part of your money back. You don't even get that. You get, like, 3 completely different, unaffiliated parts that will give you no money back level of loss right there. That is the natural zero roll in a D&D game. Absolutely psychotic. Hopefully that torch isn't painful. Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, it's already gone, so it's probably just, like, weird thing that's on me, and I kind of feel it when I sit, and there was something there before. I don't remember what it was, but it was something there before. Wasn't thinking about it, and so I guess it doesn't hurt enough. I assume. I hope. That poor dog. God. Yeah, I raked him. Look at the diagram. I just looked over like, yep, that seems right to me. I guess update periodically. It has all the GTA VODs currently. GTA heights are really good. If I let the cars go 99% speed, every car has perfect comedic timing. You know, I'm not super interested in playing a GTA game. Uh-oh. I'm dropping frames. I'm not Come on, baby. Come back to me. All right, we're back. It's green again. I think we're good. I hope we're good. You might have to refresh if you hear me now. I'm not hyper interested into GTA is the big thing, but damn, that would be a way that I would like to play the sandbox aspects of GTA that actually give me interest to the game. Okay, cool. We're good. Hoi hoi. Hoi hoi. To you too. Oh gosh. What a day. Got a nice workout in on stream. Got a nice education about the man who created the fake dog testicles. We watched a video before that. The memory of that video is gone. I don't remember what we watched before that. I legitimately don't remember. It is actually gone. What did we watch first? It was a 20-ish minute video. It's gone. Okay, not that one. There was one before the too spicy one. I think there was another one at least. I'm pretty sure we watched a video first before you came back in and you gave me the suggestion to watch Nudicles. He's doing a mission that takes a lot of it. Damn, maybe that is the way to go with the game. Because I can at least finish the game. I would have an end point. So maybe I should just do it that way and just say, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to try to beat the game. I'm not good at GTA, obviously. Yeah, there was a video. I swear I watched something. What's up, Kindness? How you doing? I swear I watched something beforehand. I just can't remember what. And I'm like, I'm not looking on purpose. It was something that Atesian sent over. Okay, memory's coming back. Brain's working again. That brain cell has been delivered back to me from Jinpoo. It was something that Atesian sent over. I'm pretty sure. All right, I give up. What did I watch last? Oh, it's probably green now. Shit. Shit. It's gone. Oh, right. id Software's RPGs. They're RPG games that they've made. From like Doom RPG 1, 2, and Wolfenstein RPG, and then the Orcs and Trolls, I think it was called. Yes, that was it. That was what we watched. I had to look. Which was a great video, mind you. It was a very good video. It just got overwritten by the story of Nudicles. And she has to go into the Indy and edit that car speed. Oh, because he wouldn't be able to drive it either. It's not set up so that it's every car is 999. Not like, oh, every NPC car is moving 999. He moves at normal speed. It's every car, period, is 999. Gotcha. Yo, what up, 20? How you doing? It's great to see you. You came at a perfectly cromulent and safe time. You did not have to learn about fake dog testicles, and which was a cover-up and burying the lead for the entire story of Greg's insane family life, and Toby was there too, also causing problems. Try the next part of fake Manhattan. That's really fucking funny. I need to do more fucked up mods of games that I really enjoy, and just like figure out what I can do into like the system to make it like really fucked up in stupid ways, and surprise myself even. Because like there's a thought I've had in my head. While I don't really do like heavy horror games for like, you know, October, Halloween, or anything like that, I think there's it would be a very funny idea to get like Resident Evil 2, since I still want to play that, and just give it to like someone like Dubs or like Wobbly or something like that, and just say, just put mods into the game and just ship it back over to me, and I'm going in blind. Like, first time playing the game, I ain't played the original Resident Evil 2 more than like the first hour. I'm going in completely blind, and I don't know what will happen type of energy. But yeah, just stream-friendly mods. I don't know what unfriendly mods there are out there. I'm sure they always exist at this point. But, yeah. Wait, we're going to watch the Thirst Trap piano? I mean, I don't think I wouldn't call her a Thirst Trap, personally. She just did a light cosplay. But also, I just needed something else to listen to in the meantime after the story of Nudicles. Which, let me link that into the chat again, just in case anyone does want to watch it in their free time. I believe that's still the link, right? Yeah, okay, I got it. We're good. Where'd my chat go? There we go. Yeah, we're good. Wait, not her. Oh, wait, is there someone else who's a Thirst Trap piano woman? Like, she looks pretty fairly just. What do you mean? I mean, unless you're really thirsty for piano players, I won't stop you. But there's actually a Thirst Trap piano player. I forgot her name. I'm sure Mia's got you. Speaking of fake dog testicles, I got back from a tournament in Eastern Washington. I'm never driving again. I'm just gonna fly. How far did you drive for this? And Death Stranding rules. Oh god, but those are games that would be interested in playing if the story was cut for opposite reasons. It's all right. I have not touched either of them, quite honestly. So, you know, that's his own beast of everything. Oh shit, is Raven coming also at a very cromulent time and not having to learn about fake dog testicles. Yo, what's up, Raven? Thank you so much for the raid. Greatly appreciate it. We're just chilling and watching stuff for a bit here. Having a little bit of a palate cleanser from the last absolutely batshit insane video that we watched before you came in here. But yo, what's up, Soxy Fox? And what's up, Wobbly Pop TV? And funny little Goosey as well. How y'all doing? What are we getting up to today? More deathless attempts at randomized Dark Souls. More like Dork Souls. But great to see you all. For those of you who don't know me, name's Ryudo, variety streamer on twitch.tv.com. Having a little bit of a bonus day. Usually my Sundays are my big chill out, do something else that I usually don't do stream. So we had an hour of workout earlier today, and then we've been kind of chilling and watching videos for a while here. Got done with an hour-long video about a book written by the guy who created fake dog testicles, or nudicles as he calls it, and just a semi-biography, but also this absolutely batshit story about his life troubles being blown extraordinarily out of proportion as well, I should also add. That was all my fault? I was going to call you out. Falls are anonymous, I was about to say. I was going to say shit like, hey, thank you for the follow. Greatly appreciate it. Falls are anonymous. So if you want to follow and look away, feel free to do as such. I know you've been chatting in the chat, but I mean, if you want to take this water gun and shoot yourself with it, give you a little bit of a squirt in the ear and get that water you're going on, I understand. Yes, we are talking about nudicles, though. You hit it right in the head, Wobble Pop. You hit it right in the head that we were watching the video on nudicles, which absolutely batshit insane video. If you ever have an hour in your future, you should absolutely watch the book review. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's very funny in overall production concept and what came out of it all. It is a probably sad story if the guy writing it wasn't so high and mighty about his own stance in life. That's the big thing. But that to say, it's going great. I'm having a really great time here, getting to chill out with the folks and friends and just enjoy a little bit of the Chrono Cross music being played on piano. And just having a good time out here. How you doing? How you all doing? Hopefully you're having a good one. I know it's a little bit later in the night for you all, but not like devastatingly late per se. But yeah, please go eat, Raven. It turns out, and this, I had my best scientist on this, if you don't eat, you will die. So unless you're trying to prove me wrong, you should just go eat anyway. I would love to have you alive if possible. But let's see. So a few games, never could crack treasure. I did see that earlier today. Yes. Tiny Glade and Monster Hunter. Love Monster Hunter. Nah, I get it. I get it. Monster Hunter. And I assume it's not the first Monster Hunter. You deserve better than that, quite honestly. Oh, Ruse Piano. Wait, there's another one? Right now, the actual subject matter apparently is, I had her on screen, playing her stuff, and Mia brought it up. It's like, oh, are we going to watch the Thirst Trap piano player? And I'm like, I don't think she's much of a thirst trap. She's just kind of very soft cosplaying. I mean, very good cosplaying because she does it over and over all her concertos, I guess. And like, no, there's a Thirst Trap one. And I was like, yeah, there's a Thirst Trap one. And I can't remember their name right now. And then now Mia comes back. It's Ruse Piano. And then I was just like, there's another one. Which is really fucking funny. Holy shit. Apparently just being some level of really sexy piano, thirst trapping piano player is the play. So I have to learn how to play piano. Also, I gotta look a little bit better too. But beyond all that, go eat Raven. Don't eat me. Go eat Raven, everybody. It's absolutely delicious. Let me give a quick shout out real quick here while my hands are not being distracted by nudicles. Raven, absolutely wonderful streamer who does very silly things with Dark Souls all the time and then has to back out from doing things on Dark Souls all this time because it fucking whoops his ass every single time and it's very funny. For me. And for everyone else probably too, but mostly for me. And I love this shit for me. So if you know the coolest back in view for later date says 2 hours. Yeah, that'll not be today. I'm still feeling, well, not the effects of, but like this chill out post-workout situation has been feeling pretty good, honestly. I've been pretty happy about that. And I'm watching because half of her boss is exposed. He's good at piano. The thing is, I would be saying that. I'm like, look, first things first, she's good at piano. Second thing second, I don't mind that at all. That's a bonus. So I'm going to put it on my side window really quickly here. I'm going to just look it up because now you've all made me curious. One was Ruse Piano. Okay, it popped up very easily. Oh, she's adorable from what Google will give me, mind you. And the other one was Pan Piano. They both seem very adorable, just kind of looking from what Google gives me. But I also understand what you mean because now there's one that just popped up. It's like, yeah, there we go. It's a very... Yeah. There's also a piano here energy. Some slightly spicy content warning real quickly here because I'm not going to leave you all in the dark on this one here. Let's just do that. Some very there's also a piano here energy, right? So I very much understand what you're talking about now here. I'm like, I'm gonna search it first to figure out how thirst are we talking here, and I understand. That's Aerith. That's exactly as I remember her. Yeah, not unreasonably so, but also very much like, okay, you can have sexiness and a piano at the same time. You can have, you know, a little bit of that lust aspect to a piano. Why not? And the answer is like, yeah, you're right. I suppose so. I don't really have an argument against it. I just never thought that would. I just never thought about it. And that's why it's probably working to some heavy degree, I imagine, to bring some success. Also, thank you for the video, by the way. Both videos, Strong Bad Man. I greatly appreciate it. The story of Nudicles was absolutely wonderful. Yeah, that's boobs right there. But yeah, not unreasonably so. Mind you, what goes from not unreasonably so will always lead to, I'm just playing the piano naked. And I'll just nod and say, good for you. I'm sure someone out there will really hyper enjoy this specific cross of two things. Not me, though. Pumpkin Potion is a piano streamer I follow. She's a VTuber of a 20 styles animation theme. I haven't heard of her. Pumpkin Potion, I don't believe. Out of curiosity, I'm gonna take a quick look here. Also, how you doing, shiny empty head? Hopefully you're having a good one. Oh, yes, never mind. I know of Pumpkin Potion. I saw someone retweeted back when I was actually on Twitter. Someone retweeted her collection video from, like, you know, recent times, like the past years or so, and it was very well done. But holy shit, it is a very, very well done VTube. Like, insanely good aesthetic on that. It's one of those things, like, I don't ever want a VTuber that badly, but if I did get one, I would want something hyper stylized like that. I'd probably be like some Wile E. Coyote shit. That would be what I want. I want to look like Bugs Bunny or something like that, you know? New OnlyFans gimmick dropped. Look, that's the metagame. That is the metagame. It's not easy to metagame sex work in a lot of ways. Outside of, you know, people being absolutely dog shit about being respectful to sex workers in the first place. But let alone, yeah, you kind of have to be some level of, like, extraordinarily creative to find random niche that makes everyone else want to copy you. And as someone who is only tepidly creative, yeah, that's just hard. And you have to stick with the bit for however long as well. That's why these game marathons that I do work really well for me. Because one, I do want to explore all the food-sponsored games, all the Punch-Out-like games, all the 3D beat-em-ups from when they were started in 1996. That is interesting to me. And the games themselves will be curious enough that I don't really have to figure out an angle or a way to attack this sort of stuff. It does it for me. Usually, some games aren't all that exciting all the time, but that's a part of the mix, right? It doesn't have to be hyper special. So being creative, basically what I'm saying is, anyone who's creative gets like my biggest ups of, damn, I love what you do and I'm always gonna be impressed with what you do, because holy shit, you are good at thinking stuff. But that said, anyways, here, been at it for a few hours here, and I think I'm ready to call it. But that said, if you wanna see who's doing some other video gaming action out here, actually, I quite believe it is Oozeworm's birthday today. I don't know if Oozeworm is streaming right now. I'm trying to look right now, and I don't see. Teddy, what is CB? Don't talk to me, Teddy. Teddy seems to be on a big bad game-a-thon right now. I don't think Oozeworm is streaming quite yet. Okay, gotcha. Well, in that case, speaking of games that I do enjoy that are a little less popular, I'm going to send you over to Red Mage Susie, who is currently playing through Mystical Ninja for the Mystical Ninja for the Nintendo 64, the first one, if anyone is familiar with that. They are, yeah, I do remember that both of them are on Arcade Pit later today, but that's many hours from now, and I am not staying streaming for that long. I wish to remove myself from the streaming circumstances for the time being. Shh. Twitch, baby. Shh. Okay, I'm trying to talk to cool people out here, right? Don't embarrass me in front of my friends, new and old. That said, thank you all for hanging out. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for helping me out on setting up the Pump It Up Step Arrows side of the stream as well. I greatly appreciate all of you hanging out during that moment. I have some things to work on. I have some angles to go at, and it should be wonderful. But until then, which is literally tomorrow, about 15 hours from now, take care of yourselves. Have a good one. Stay safe out there. Stay cute, as always. And until next time, peace.